Get strong.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of The Beautiful Bag. I am joined with a great guest. We met on Instagram. I actually chased him down. I saw his story on Instagram and I was running after him going, JD, you've got to be on the podcast. JD, I know you're busy. However, you got to tell the story. So I cannot wait for you guys to hear his story, hear how he's overcome a whole bunch of things and what he's been doing with his life since. So JD, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
So excited that you're here. So now you are in your ostomy for a different reason, and you have, you're more than just in an ostomy. Typically when I have somebody on the podcast, it's, cancer or Crohn's or colitis or one of those other reasons, but you happen to be in yours because of an accident. So why don't we talk about that? What happened?
So I was in a really bad motorcycle accident, May 20th, 2019. I was riding home on highway, and it was like a big, it was like a construction type dump truck behind me, and they almost rear-ended me. I saw them coming up behind me on my side mirror on my bike, and I got over into the emergency lane and where they could hit me. And when I did that, my bike had spent out of control, and then I ended up running into a guardrail. After I hit the guardrail, I ricocheted to the other side of the road, and then I was run over by a car.
Oh.
And yeah, I was going about 50, 55 miles an hour.
Holy, you are blessed. You are lucky to be here. I mean, that
it was pretty bad.
That sounds like it was horrible. But motorcycles scare me. I've always wanted one, and I've been on the back of one a few times, but they scare me. But man, all right. So what happened from there? So
that happened. Mind you, I was conscious for the majority of it. So I do have the majority of my memory from the accident, which most trauma survivors from motorcycle accidents don't have memory. It's actually, I think, less than 4% of people have the memory of their accident. And I just so happen to have mine. And basically, I knew I had just gotten to an accident. I didn't feel pain immediately. I looked down, and then I felt pain as soon as I saw, the damage done to my body, because I saw both my femurs were broken in half. One leg was one way, the other leg was another. And then my radius of my ulna came out of my arm, so my hand was disattached from my arm. And then my my groin area was split in half all the way through past my spine. So that's when I saw that, I just felt immediate pain, and I literally thought, right then and there, this is it. I'm going to die right here, because I was bleeding out a lot, and it just didn't look too promising for me.
Yeah, we're laughing in shock, kind of. I think wow, yeah. And you remember all of it.
Yep, I remember everything. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Well, I remember everything up until EMS got there. There was about 15 of them, swarming around me, one putting in the IV and this and that, and they were like, he's not going to make it. And they had called the helicopter to come land on the highway. So a helicopter got there. By the time they put the backboard down on the ground and put me in the helicopter, I stopped breathing right there.
Oh.
And before I died, I remember I said, please don't let me die. I have a son, because he was all I could think about at the time. I was dying. I was like, no, I want to make sure I live for him, and yes, that was literally my last words. And then I stopped breathing right then and there. And yeah, they rushed me to the hospital, and that's where, I guess in the process of me being in the helicopter all the way back to the hospital, that's where they were doing what was called rescue breathing, which is breathing for you, and they incubated me right there. And yeah, that was pretty much it. And then they induced me into a coma for about a month, because it would have been way too much pain to go through on my own.
Can't imagine.
Yeah, and weird thing is, they say you don't wake up out of comas, but I would say that's not entirely true, because I woke up. No, they don't say you wake up in the middle of surgery. I'm sorry. I was in a coma, but I was in surgery, and I woke up during my surgery, and I was like the worst pain ever. And then they put me back to sleep. They put me back into a coma for like, a couple more weeks. And then there I was in the hospital, for about a little over 3 months.
Yeah.
Then I was in a hospital bed for about 5 months. And then, yeah, lots of rehab afterwards, after I was able to walk. Well, at first doctor said I wouldn't be able to walk again. I was in a wheelchair. And then I went to rehab and I learned how to walk. And then after rehab, yeah, that's just where I started pushing myself even harder, pushing myself outside my comfort zone, going to the gym, things of that nature.
So, all right. So, in a matter of, all right, hold on, 5 minutes.
I sped through things a little bit. I know.
In a matter of 5 minutes, we went from, all right, I died, I was in the helicopter, I was in a coma. Now I'm in the gym and I'm working out. Like,
Yeah.
how does a person, how? I mean, this is only what, 2 years ago?
Yeah. And this is, I'm 50 surgeries in, so this is 50 surgeries later. I'm here, but yeah, it was 2 years ago. But I mean, people who know me knows I can be impatient when it comes to some things, and I was very impatient. I didn't want to wait. I was pushing myself super hard, and my physical therapist, my occupational therapist was like, no, you need to slow down. I was like, no, I don't want to slow down, because I want to get back to, everyday living. I want to be able to get up, walk around. I don't want to be laying in this bed. I've been in this bed for 5 months of my life. I can't do it anymore. Driving me nuts. Looking at the same 4 walls for months and months will drive me crazy laying on the bed. So yeah, I just pushed myself really hard, to keep going. And it was really hard because I know a lot of people that's been in some similar situations that I've met over the years, and a lot of them have given up hope, and a lot of them have, just didn't want to do anything. They just got complacent, I guess, and stayed there.
That is the easiest. That's the easiest thing for someone to do, right? Is to get complacent, to just kind of stay there and not have that, like, no, this is not okay. I mean, what you did is phenomenal. It's unheard of. It's very, very rare to find a person who just says, no, this is not okay. You're saying I can't walk again. Watch me. You're saying I can't do this. Watch me. You're telling me to slow down. No, watch me. Now, is that because, I mean, you had said something a minute ago about whoever knows you knows that you just get impatient and you just want things done. Like, where did that will come from? Like, where did that desire just to say, I'm getting up, I'm walking, I'm doing this? I mean, because you now have a prosthetic leg and you're in an ostomy. But if you see you on social media, you're in the gym all the time.
And I have a suprapubic catheter.
Okay. Okay. Right. So there you go. I mean,
right. Well, so I wouldn't say that my drive, came from me being impatient. It really came from, the doctors had no clue who I was at the time. So they didn't know that, I was a Muay Thai fighter for like 15 years. I was a Marine, I was in the Marine Corps. So they probably didn't know how determined of a person I am. So, I think it just came from, just being so determined from, being a Marine for one, and for two, being a fighter, and for three, which is probably the most important one, was my son. And, he was so young at the time. He had no idea what was going on. He's 5 now, by the way. So at the time he was like 2 turning 3 at the time of my accident. And I just couldn't stand the thought of not being able to pick him up or, do anything with him. Yeah. So
kids can do that to you. Kids can do that to
you.
They make you live a whole different, they make you live.
Yeah, they do. Yep. They really do. So I was like, no, there's no way, I made a promise to him. I made a promise to myself that I would be there, as much as I possibly could. So, I just wanted to make sure I, kept that promise.
And well, you have, because you're here. And so you've gone through all your surgeries, had 50 surgeries now. I'm assuming, do you still have more to come, or are you pretty much?
Fingers crossed, I have one more.
Okay.
And it's actually the only surgery that's ever really made me nervous. And obviously I've had a ton. I've gotten metal rods put in my femurs. I got a catheter put in. I got, my ostomy. I've gotten my leg amputated. I've been through a ton of surgeries. But this last one is called a metrophenol. And what they do is they take a small piece of your intestines and they attach it to your bladder.
Okay.
And they make a small opening on like the side of your abdomen so you can catheterize yourself when you need to go. And then when you're done, you just pull it out. Okay. So that is a very risky surgery. A lot of things can happen. Leakage can happen. Anything can happen. Your bladder might not react well to it. So it's just a lot of things up in the air with this kind of surgery. So my urologist and I are making sure we take all the right steps. So we're doing a bladder test, day after tomorrow. Yeah. Okay. Like a water retention test, basically, to see how well my bladder can, retain liquid. But yeah, so that's my next surgery. Hopefully it's my last one. I just hate having a suprapubic catheter in 24/7. It's really annoying and very uncomfortable.
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, kind of imagine. I can kind of imagine.
I'm glad I don't have a regular catheter, fortunately, but suprapubic still not comfortable either.
Exactly. So you've got to get comfortable. So man, what a story. So you come out of all of this, and what was your first reaction, or what was your reaction when you realized you're still here, but now you're, you know, in an ostomy, one leg amputated, you know, have your catheter? What was going through your head when you were going through all of that?
Honestly, I would say at first, you know, first thing that came to my mind was, why is this happening to me? Why this? Why that? You know, that's, you know, any normal person would question why. And then after I got past the why, I started thinking, well, this is, you know, years later, over a year later.
I was gonna say years later, this is only 2.
Yeah. Over a year later, I finally, you know, told myself, you know what, this is the new me, you know, this is the new me, and this is the new normal. So, you know, it's a part of self-acceptance, and, you know, telling myself like, hey, this colostomy is here for the rest of my life, and that, and so is having a catheter. There's not, you know, a whole lot it's not really anything I can do actually about it. So, you know, I don't really try to dwell on things that I can't really change. You know, I just try to remind myself that everything happens for a reason, you know, and it was a very, very humbling experience, like this whole past, I don't know, year and a half, I'd say. I definitely wouldn't say the first year, because it was a very hard first year.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, like you said, you were in the
humbling, because I was filled with anger the first, you know, it's probably year. But now, I look back and I, you know, I can definitely say it was a very humbling experience. And I'm a much different person now. And if you ask anyone who knew me 2.5 years ago, they would have told you this is a whole different guy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So it's humbled you. It shows you how delicate life can be.
Right. And I took a lot of things for granted. Yeah.
We all do. We all do until something happens, right? All of a sudden, you know, I mean, with mine, it was, right. I got you have cancer. And I'm like, I'm only 45 years old. What are you talking about? Like, I'm too young for this. And, you know, and then it was, well, we've got to go get this tumor out, and this is it. And you could be in a colostomy bag. And I'm like, I do fitness competitions. There's no bag happening here. Like, what? No. And my doctor yelled at me and said, we don't have a choice. Like, my job is to save your life. It'll be the last resort, but this is what's going to happen. I got to go get this. We have to get this cancer out. I'm like, fine. So I woke up in the bag and I was like, all right, well, here we go. This is what we're doing. Like, this is the new norm. This is what life is about. And I mean, I even got up on stage 2 years after and did a fitness competition with the bag, because it's like, what are you going to do? What are we going to do? Right.
Did you have a problem at first with self-acceptance, or were you accepting right away?
I ended up going in and accepted right away. I don't know what happened. Something happened through going into the surgery. Just, I felt at peace. So I said, whatever's going to happen, I just felt this peace come over me. I said, whatever's going to happen is going to happen, and I'm going to deal with it. And when I woke up, I said, well, at the time I was working for Tyra Banks, helping her sell her cosmetics line. So, and I was supposed to meet her in person the following week. And my doctor's like, you're not getting on a plane. I'm like, oh yeah, I am. I'm going to see Tyra. Like, I'm going to see Tyra in California. You're not stopping me. Yeah. So, and I did. Yeah. And I think it was one of those, like you, like, just that just the heck with this. I'm just going for it. Like, you know, I pushed myself harder than I think I would have if I didn't have something to look forward to, or if I just was in a different mindset, you know. Right. And I had those moments myself of, you know, why me, sitting on the my closet floor crying, like what's going on? Like, I don't understand this. So yeah, we all have those emotions, but I think it's what we do with those emotions after.
Right.
And then you get humble,
Yeah.
and grateful.
Definitely.
So now, all right. So I see you in the gym all the time now, right? Because you're posting that you're in there and you're working out and just getting stronger and feeling, you look amazing. You must be feeling amazing.
Thank you. I do feel this is without a doubt, and I told you I've been fighting about half of my life. I've done Muay Thai for a long time, and upper body wise, this is physically the strongest I've ever been.
And is it because you're utilizing it a lot more, or is it just it's been your focus?
A bit both. More so, I'm focusing on, weight training. Versus before, I was mostly cardio. Yeah, I was just all about cardio. But now it's more so, weight training and strength. So that's just been my primary focus. And I'm not sure if you know, but 6 months ago I was 90 pounds, and I not have an appetite. I haven't had an appetite since my accident happened. So that's kind of what started this journey with my fitness, because I wanted to get this Mitrofanov surgery done, and my urologist told me that, well, you're too small. If we do surgery now, you'll die. So she was like, well, you need to come back when you gain about 50, 60 pounds.
And you said that was 6 months ago?
Yes.
All right. So what did you just back up to a butcher shop and say, give me all the steaks? I need to give me all the food.
No, it's actually very hard. So long story short, I got my medical marijuana card. I got my appetite back. After I got my appetite back, I didn't want to just eat anything, and I didn't want to gain the wrong weight. And I wanted to do things the right way. So I made sure I meal prepped. I've been meal prepping for 6 months now. And I made sure I meal prep, and, I've been following, workout plans, and going to the gym consistently about 5-6 days a week. So I made sure I gained muscle mass instead of just fat. And granted, I did gain fat too, which I needed. You do need that. But I didn't want to just gain all fat and no muscle. So I wanted to make sure I went about it the right way.
Well, you've done terrific. If you just started that 6 months ago, you've done a terrific job.
Yeah, I thank you. I've been jumping through pretty quickly. I've been eating 4+ meals a day plus protein shakes, and I've just been trying to get in as much as I possibly could. And I think it's worked out pretty well so far. And my goal is to get to 190, so hopefully I can get there by next year.
You will be able to. You'll be able to. So now, meal prepping. How do you feel about meal prepping? I mean, you've never done it before, and now all of a sudden you're doing it. What do you think?
I've done meal prepping before when I fought, but not like this, because meal prepping when I fought was low carbs, low calorie, and this is opposite. It's a lot of carbs, a lot of healthy fats. So I'm eating a ton of fish, a ton of seafood, rice, vegetables, things of that nature. But it is very time consuming, which I hate.
It is.
It takes hours and hours to meal prep, and there's some days where I really don't feel like it, but Yeah, I'm sure you probably know
Oh
how that
yeah.
is.
I've meal prepped. I've meal prepped for the last 12 years.
Yeah,
Where where I don't even need to look at anything. I can tell you just by looking at a plate, even if I go out to dinner, I'm like, all right, that's 4 ounces, that's 5 ounces. I can tell the difference between an ounce and a piece of protein at this point when I'm looking at it. Because I've just measured my food for just so long and done it. But there was a good amount of time, after cancer, up until I decided that I was going to do another fitness competition where I just said the heck with it. And I ate whatever I wanted. I did whatever I wanted. And I threw a good, 20 pounds on. Wasn't crazy, but it was enough for me to go, hey, LeeAnne, slow it down. And then I did the competition. Then my husband and I moved to New York City for a year. And when you go to New York City and you feel like you're only there on vacation, we had to remind ourselves, hey, we actually live here. You don't have to eat out every single night and have cocktails every single night.
oh God.
And act like you're 21 again, because you're not.
So is that how you're living now? Do you guys go out a lot and you enjoying the city life?
We did for a while. We ended up moving back to New Hampshire in February after COVID, because we together have 5 kids. We have 2 grandchildren. Everybody had moved out. Yeah, we raised our kids, we raised our family, and everybody had moved out. So during COVID, every time we come home to visit, they'd be like, when are you moving back? All the family just wanted us back, and we just wanted to be back around them. So we're back in New Hampshire now. I'm back to really meal prepping and eating at home. Restaurants here aren't like restaurants in the city.
5 kids, wow.
Yeah, we blended them 20 years ago. So the youngest was 4, the oldest was 14. Yeah,
Wow.
15. He was 15. So yeah, 4 to 15. There were 5 of them, and yeah.
And in the midst of you've been doing fitness competitions.
Yep. I started doing fitness competitions at the age of 39. My kids were they were just horrified by me.
Wait. You started at 39.
I started fitness competitions at 39. Yep.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yep. I said the heck with it. I'm going to do this thing. So let's see what we can do. So I started at 39.
Wow.
Yep. So
That's amazing. Usually that's when people are like,
yeah. No, I went the exact opposite. I did the opposite. Yeah. Just like,
awesome.
but I'm, you know what? I am proud of you. I'm so honored that you came on today and you shared your story, and just, what is a day like for you?
Like a day-to-day.
Yeah. Just like a
Normal
normal
life.
day to day for you.
Yeah. So normal day-to-day, typically, I, wake up. So I'm on permanent disability.
Mhm.
So I do not work. So normal day-to-day life, I get up, I have to put my prosthetic on, I have to get dressed, I have to take care of, my ostomy, my catheter, do that first thing when I wake up. Then I go take my dog out. Make sure. So I have a service dog too. So I go take my dog out. After that, usually come back, feed her, all that. Then I'll usually eat breakfast. Um, After breakfast, usually I eat breakfast. I'm hydrating. I'll usually clean up or run some errands, because I actually have a ton of doctor's appointments throughout the week. I'm always seeing urology or ortho or plastics or some surgeon.
Mhm.
Or then I have to call my medical supplier, and get things coordinated with them to make sure I'm getting the supplies I need for the month. So I do that, and then I'm eating lunch, and after that eating again. I try to eat a good 3-4 times before I go to the gym, depending on how much it is. And then, yeah, by that time it's late, you know, early evening, and then I'm pretty much getting ready to go to the gym. So I take my dog out again, you know, walk her. By that time, usually my wife is getting home. So I, you know, talk to my wife for a little bit, and then, yeah, head off to the gym, which is where my day really starts, is at 7:30 p.m. And that's where the most exciting part of my day is, until about 10 p.m. Give or take. Yep. And then after the gym, I just come back and eat again.
So you're in the gym from 7:30 till 10?
Yep.
And you're just, it's all strength training?
Yes. Strength training. I will do cardio. Only reason I have not been doing cardio lately is because I'm really trying to gain weight, and that'll kind of prohibit me from that. But I will be doing some cardio here and there eventually. And it's kind of hard to do cardio with a prosthetic. Yes, so it's all strength training, and I do go with a group of friends. So it does take a longer amount of time. If it was just me, I'd probably be in and out in a couple of hours. Also, one thing I forgot to mention, I do have physical therapy typically twice a week. So I'll go with my, work out with my physical therapist and we specifically work on my legs only. So hamstrings, glutes, which is my weakest points, and
For now.
quads.
For now.
Right. It's really hard to work my hamstrings and my glutes, specifically my left side, because I simply cannot feel that side. I tore my sciatic nerve when I got into my motorcycle accident. So it's completely numb. Most of my left leg is numb, except for a small portion of it. However, I don't skip leg days in the gym. I still do leg days.
Yeah, I think there used to be a joke a long time ago where it was like, I think most men skip leg days. Like everybody's always back to the top.
Yeah, I can tell you it's very true, because a lot of the guys I know that do work out at the gym do not do legs. And I'm like, you have to be proportionate. You can't just work the same muscle groups.
You can't. It's so funny just to see that, because I've seen a lot of men just they're huge on the top and they get these little legs. I'm like, dude, work your legs.
Apply that same exact effort to your legs, at least 1-2 days a week.
Exactly. So what's your favorite exercises? What's your favorite workout?
Bench press.
Bench press? Yeah. And what are you bench pressing now?
I just PR'd. So I just hit 210.
Nice.
Yeah, I know it's not a crazy amount, but it's something that I've never hit before. So I'm really proud of myself on that. I would definitely say bench press. Also, really anything with chest and triceps. That's usually my favorite day. I really look forward to. Back awesome. And biceps, it's okay. I don't really like working biceps that much. And back, I have 5 screws in my back, so I don't really look forward to that either. But I still do it.
Yep. See, I think that's the special thing about you is you have all of this going on. You have screws everywhere. I mean, you have so much stuff going on in your body, and you're still getting up and going to the gym. You're still making it a priority for yourself. You're still working on getting stronger. And mentally, like you said, that's your favorite part of the day. So mentally, it must just feels so uplifting to you?
It really is, honestly. I could say I was very depressed for a while. And it seems like when I reconnected with one of my old friends, he introduced me to the group that we all work out with now. And when I started working out with them and started working out in the gym, I just felt so much better. I feel like it kind of just pulled me out of that depression because I had, you know, I had something to look forward to. I saw self progression in myself. It was just, it was just a big change for me. And, I without the gym, I don't know where I would be mentally. Really.
Well,
now I'm like, if 3 days go by, I'm like, all right, I need to do something because like me and my buddies, we went on vacation, and I'm like, after 3 days, I feel weird. I need to hit the gym.
Yep. All right. You got the bug. You got the gym bug. It happens.
Yeah.
It happens for sure.
You of all people, I'm sure especially doing this for quite some time, longer than I have been. So.
Yeah, you get the bug, and then you're like, I can't not be in the gym. I can't not work out. Right. I've been doing for the last few years since COVID. I stopped going. We stopped because we were in New York City. We stopped going to the gym. The gyms weren't even open until after we moved. So I was just working out with my girlfriends. We have kettlebells. I bought a Peloton, I've got dumbbells and stuff like that. And I've been working out in the apartment. And now back here in New Hampshire. And I just went back. I went to Planet Fitness this morning. I'm like, I used to go to Equinox in New York. Now I'm like, I'm going to Planet Fitness. I just need a barbell. I want a barbell.
Yeah. I definitely. I mean, it takes, it takes a lot to get back into it, especially when you fall out of it for some time. It's like because I feel like if I were to start taking multiple days off, I wouldn't have that drive to go back for a while, probably. Like, that's what I'm afraid of. So I'm just consistently going. I don't want to lose it, I want to keep progressing. I don't want to lose what I've worked for so far.
Yeah. Well, you've worked hard. You've worked hard over the last couple of years just to get yourself to this point, and especially the last 6 months in the gym, and you're well on your way. So, JD, if there was something that you would want to leave the listeners with, what would that be?
I would say, if there's anyone that's going through anything, whether it's physical or it's mental, or it's at home, it's at your job, daily life struggle, just keep being persistent, keep being resilient, keep pushing, because everything starts from the mental. So I feel like once you let yourself break down completely mentally, then that's when everything is gone. So I feel like, like, for example, like for me, I just kept trying and trying. At first, when I went to the gym, I couldn't pick up dumbbells, really. I couldn't bench press. I could only bench press the bar. I couldn't even bench press 60 pounds. I would just say, just keep being consistent and keep trying your best. It's really hard, because I don't know what other people are going through at the moment. but if they want to talk to me, they definitely can, and I'd love to talk to them. I talk to people all the time, and I do get a lot of messages, asking for, people asking me for advice, like, what should I do? I'm in this situation. And, I tell them either it's your environment, the people you're around. It could be a lot of things, it just really depends. I cut out a lot of negativity around me. So all those people who weren't helping me progress, I pretty much cut out of my life. So that changed, a lot of things. So sometimes you got to remove yourself from certain people, certain situations, even if you've been invested in it for a long time.
Mhm.
It goes for relationships, friendships, a lot of things. But yeah, that's pretty much what I would say.
I love that. I love that. No, that's a great way. So if people were to want to find you, to reach out to you, to follow you, to support you, to watch your journey, to watch your next PR, where's the best place for them to find you?
Instagram is the best place to find me. The SB Kid, THESB KID 1, the SB Kid 1. I usually post, a lot of my progress on there. I'm really trying to go for 225 on my next PR. Fingers crossed.
All right.
2 plates. That's my goal. Yeah. But yeah, that I do volunteer with my local hospital here, and we're in a group called Trauma Survivor Network. And what we do is we talk to patients, and we talk to doctors, and we talk to nurses across the United States. It's worldwide, but most of the time we're talking to people across the United States about trauma. And we do monthly trauma meetings. We go to high schools. We go all over hospitals, visit patients who's been in similar accidents, and we speak to them. So yeah, I do post some of that sometimes. I try not to post it too much because some people would like their things confidential. Some people don't mind. So if the people don't mind, I may post it. But yeah, that's also what I love doing. I volunteered.
That's a great way to give back. And I'm sure you're helping so many people with your story and with just how you've overcome everything and just giving them some hope. So you're doing an amazing job. And I can't believe it's only been 2 years.
It feels longer than that for me, but yeah.
I can imagine it can, because you've gone through so much in a short amount of time. Amount of time. Yeah. So, well, JD, I want to thank you so much for being here with us this week.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Welcome.